An unprecedented increase in immigration law enforcement is occurring. Recent laws, combined with federal programs, allow state and local police officers to enforce immigration laws.
One morning, it was around 6 o'clock, but there was this knocking on my door. Somebody was banging on my door, and I opened the door. That was the INS agent, two of the agents. They got arms, everything.
We are at record levels of deportation, highest in U.S. history. And so I think people are afraid of being detained, and I think primarily they're afraid because they don't know what's going to happen to them if they are detained.
When I got to the office, like a couple hours later, they called me on the table, and then they got this document, and they want me to like sign them real quick because he was like pressing me to sign them. The officer was like pressing me to sign the document. I was like, what's in it? He was like, no, anyway, you're going to get deported, you know what I mean? And I asked him, at least, can I see a judge? He was like, yeah. And then that was when I was like, okay. I mean, I want to read into document because this is going to be my signature on it. So, I want to know what's in it. And they let me read the document, and then in the document it says, like, if I want to get deported, like, as soon as possible, if I want to just go ahead and sign. But I still have the choice to talk to a judge.
Oftentimes, immigrants don't know what they're signing. And when somebody goes into immigration custody, those documents can have a real impact on whether they're going to be able to remain in this country or not.
For many who have lived in the U.S. for years, even those illegally present, getting detained may lead to an opportunity to apply for a green card, but only if you understand your rights and do not waive them by simply agreeing to be deported.
For those people who are eligible to maybe even receive a green card as a result of the detention process, we want to make sure that they know about that opportunity and they don't give it up or waive it.
The fact that I refused to sign it, so maybe they don't have nothing to do, so that's when they called my advisor, and she called the lawyer for me. But now I don't know. I'll probably be in my country right now.
The first thing is get an attorney. Don't try and fight the big government on yourself because you won't win. They have way too many dollars, way too many attorneys just to tie you up in court. Get a prominent attorney. Don't just sign any documents without seeing an attorney. And you have rights. You have rights under the amendments of the Constitution, whether you're a citizen or not.
I think that's one of the most important things that an attorney can do and bring to your difficult situation is making sure you understand what those rights are and making sure that they don't get lost.
Si no tienes un abogado, yo lo recomendaría 100%. Búscate un abogado porque en cualquier momento de ese proceso lo vas a necesitar.
Mi consejo sería eso, que busquen un abogado, que sepan el número de teléfono, que tengan la tarjeta con ellos, para que si un oficial de migración les pare y les pregunte y diga, este es mi abogado, quiero hablar con mi abogado, y que en todo momento no firmen nada.
I think almost everybody detained, with the exception of people that have committed some very serious crimes, are going to be eligible for bond and eligible to be released, return to their family, and most importantly, that buys you an opportunity to think. When you're in jail, time is your most valuable commodity. And getting back to where you have the opportunity to talk to somebody, get information, be properly advised, because you can't listen to the immigration officers. They're not attorneys, and they only have one objective: move you out of the country as quickly as possible.
Just ignoring a court date or assuming that someone else's case is like yours, assuming that it doesn't matter if you don't go to your hearings, is really erroneous thinking. And you may be given a deportation order simply by not showing up. So not going is not going to help your situation.
I have no interest in misleading people because it's easier to be honest and to say, unfortunately, under the current law, there is no way for me to help you. And if the church or the sister or the notario or the community leader or the pastor is telling you otherwise, then you need to get a second opinion. If you don't like what I'm saying, and I understand why you don't, get a second opinion. But I understand the law, and I think it's far easier to share that with people and be honest than try to mislead them to get the money out of their pocket, because that doesn't benefit either one of us to go down that road.
The interaction with an immigration attorney needs to be, what am I going to be able to do to improve my chances of getting immigration benefits someday in the future? If I'm not eligible now, what can I do in the future that's going to improve those chances? And that's what the immigration attorney should be telling you and advising you in the consultation, so that you leave there feeling like, wow, at least I got my money's worth.
What are some things that we can help you do to put yourself and your family in a better position? And I think every time I meet with somebody new especially, I try to offer them that at the very least, because I'm from this country. I don't personally know what the experience is like, but I know that it's intimidating, and any way to make the situation better is appreciated. So I think we try to offer that as well.
Anyone who's put into removal proceedings in the Midwest will need to go to their hearing in Chicago. The immigration court for all of the region is in Chicago. I work in Chicago for Broyles, Kite & Ricafort, which is extremely advantageous to our clients because it allows them to avoid a lot of the costly travel expenses for attorneys. Other Indianapolis attorneys will not be able to provide that kind of service because they do not have the same kind of presence in Chicago like we do.
We understand that when you are detained or your loved one is detained, it's a terrifying process because your loved one is in some unknown place for an unknown period of time. You don't know whether they're in a jail with hardened felons, or it's very difficult to even find out, are they even in Indiana anymore? So we know that's really frightening and confusing, and there's a sense of urgency because you think if I don't act right now and do something, my relative is going to be gone before I even have a chance to do anything about it. So the best thing you can do is call an attorney right away, give them the facts of the last information I have is my loved one was arrested for driving without a license in wherever. That attorney should quickly be able to find out where they are, why they're being held, is there a bond, and do you have any options of getting them released, and if they are released, then what? So when they ultimately get through that process and hopefully don't sign something that they shouldn't be signing, they're going to walk out of that ICE detention facility with some papers in their hands. And you're not probably going to understand what those papers say or whether you have obligations to do something. And it's confusing because on that paper it's going to say that you have to report to one address, and then you're going to be told maybe that you have to go to a court at a different address. So we understand that that is really confusing and scary, and there may be language barriers and other misinformation you're getting from this, that, and the other source. So we highly encourage you to just take a breath, call us, and we'll have you come in and explain, what's going on and how best to get you where you need to be.